Morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 13th. I'm just going to show you your objectives here at the beginning of Schoology on that front folder. It says, I can use data cards to compare and contrast the rocky planets and determine which ones could have been habitable. For periods 1, we're going to start right away with GOM, Geology on Mars, Lesson 2, and we're going to really focus on activities 3 and 4. However, we didn't get quite finished with 1.13, so Chapter 1, Lesson 1, Activity 3 for periods 2, 4, and 5. So if you are from periods 2, 4, and 5, you need to go back and finish going through that. There's a video that you're going to watch. It is in your Amplify. If you need me to show you where all this stuff is, I certainly can when you come back. And then we're going to do something fun. We're going to explore Google Mars today. So let me just take you very quickly to a couple things I want to make sure that you get. First of all, if you haven't already, I want you to make sure that you have key concept number 1. Key concept number 1 says Earth, Mars, and other rocky planets can be thought of as a system. These systems are made up of interacting spheres that can include the geosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. So on your graphic organizer, key concept number 1, you're going to write this in. And if you don't have that graphic organizer, I put it in yesterday's folder too. So go ahead and open up yesterday's folder. Here's the graphic organizer for the key concepts. And then copy that into your Good Notes folder for Geology on Mars. And then you're going to write that key concept right there. Okay? The other thing is then when we get into lesson 1.2, this is going to be about observing the surfaces of Mars and Earth. So we were able to understand from yesterday's lesson that the rocky planet that is most similar to Mars is Earth, and that's because it also has lava, it has volcanoes, it has frozen water, it does have ice, and those things make it most similar to Earth, whereas the other planets don't share those same qualities or characteristics. Also, Mars has carbon dioxide on it, and we know that carbon dioxide is the opposite of photosynthesis, and so perhaps at one point in time there's oxygen in the air, and then it got converted to carbon dioxide, so it's a good place for us to start. All right, so in today's lesson, we just reiterate the unit question, how can we search for evidence that other planets were once habitable? We know that we're going to focus on Mars because we looked at a video yesterday that shows a planetary geologist studying land formations that were formed by water and by lava. Later on, we're going to see that. But we can see that flowing water shapes the land and it creates unique features. So planetary geologists also look at satellite images of Mars for similar features to see if liquid water once flowed on Mars. So we're going to do that a little bit. The one thing I'd like you to do today is go to Google Mars. So just go to Google, type in Google Mars, and you're going to get this image, okay? And I just want you to mess around with it. There are 3 different modes that you can use, and those modes are right here. There's elevation, visible, and infrared. I'd like you to use the elevation mode to explore the surface. So understand that there's going to be some areas that are higher in elevation than others, and they give you a key, so really pay attention down here what you're looking at. So if something is red, what's the elevation? If something's white, what's the elevation? And you'll understand that these areas that are white are very, very tall, like mountains, like really big mountains. This right here is a volcano on Mars that is 3 times the size of the tallest volcano here on Earth. So that kind of gives you an idea. And then this down here, the greens and the blues, these are very low elevation. And in fact, we might even consider that to be below, quote unquote, sea level. So what are you noticing? What can you infer from the land formations that you see on Mars. The last thing I want to do is we may get a little bit farther than that. And if we do, I want to make sure that you have key concept number 2. So you'll write that down in your graphic organizer. When landforms on different rocky planets look similar, it is evidence that they may have been formed by the same geologic process. This is a very important key concept because planetary geologists used this key concept to support the exploration of Mars. They were able to find landforms that looked similar to the landforms that we see on Earth. And so we're going to go ahead and go and explore Mars because they may have been formed by the same geologic process. In other words, water, flowing water. And if there's flowing water and Mars has access to energy from the sun, those are the two most important things that a planet needs to be habitable, to be able to sustain life. So that's why we're focusing on Mars. All right. Hopefully I see you guys tomorrow. The only homework I'd have for you to do is just study your vocabulary, and then now you've got 2 key concepts that you need to study. Remember, the pop quiz will be coming up shortly. I'm not going to tell you when it is. It's a pop quiz. But study your vocabulary. I will give you a piece of paper that just has the vocabulary term on it. You will have to write in the definition, so get used to that. Like, study for that. And then the key concept, I will just write key concept number 1, and you have to write down the key concepts. Okay? Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Talk to you later.